Hi, everyone. Dylan Welch here, host of the Intelligence Report podcast. I was able to have an amazing interview with a close friend of mine, but due to his work, which you'll probably kind of figure out and learn from as you listen to the podcast, we had to bleep out his name and any information that may make it obvious as to who he is. Also, we are still in the very early phases of sort of this new direction, so this isn't as hard hitting of a podcast as you may expect in the coming weeks and months. But my friend is a super tuned in, intelligent, hardworking guy. And we wanted to sit down with him and just get a feel for what he's doing and a little advice from someone who's, out there doing really crazy, interesting things. So you'll see we had to bleep out his name and any other information that may detail who he is, but nonetheless, we still wanted to share this podcast because we thought it was really fun, really interesting. So check it out. We hope you enjoy. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, Dylan Welch. Have an awesome guest on our show today. Good friend of mine. We went to college together. We lived in Italy together. We stayed in close contact, even though we both kind of been all over the world. Joining us is an entrepreneur, Green Beret, good friend of mine, inspirational, always holding me accountable to keep challenging myself. So I'm excited to chat a little bit with today. Thanks for joining us. How you doing?
What's up, Dill? Yeah, great to be on your podcast. I have my own. Thanks for the intro. I started a bunch of businesses, worked in advertising previously as a global new business director, worked with clients like Facebook, Amazon, Twitter, Google, Nike, Oracle, you name it. All the big tech tier one companies that have been a lot of fun throughout the years. It's been a privilege to work with them. I live here in North Carolina. I have two German shepherds that love to come in during podcasts because they think I'm talking to them the whole time. So they'll be nice and quiet. But yeah, man, thanks for joining on. Let's talk about some travel. Let's talk about business.
Yeah, always appreciate a good from the dogs. Love that. Feel free to bring them on and say hi anytime. But yeah, so let's get to it. So I kind of wanted to chat a little bit about today, the traveling that we've done. We lived in Italy together. We've gone to Greece together. We worked abroad together. So tell me a little bit about your kind of first experiences of venturing out of the country. What was that like for you? Because we both grew up in like small towns in the Northeast. Not a lot of people, move abroad or live abroad. So what was that sort of first taste for you?
Yeah, I think I was always a rebel child. For me, it was always the questioning of why. I got kicked out of Sunday school as a kid because I asked why certain things were the way that they were. And I've never really subscribed to the stories that other people tried to tell us. I was a very curious kid, and I think that is born into the rebellious spirit of anybody. Doesn't matter what age you are. Luckily for guys like me and you, it bit us pretty young, and we were very curious about what else was out there, right? You get this feeling that you're just in this small town and you got to get out. So for me, my first experience, my dad's uncle married a Japanese woman, and they had Japanese kids my age, and they were my cousins. Every year they went back to Japan, and one summer I expressed interest. I was like, man, I want to go to Japan next year. So it was right after my junior year of high school. I went to Japan for a month, and I lived with a family that didn't speak any English. A family friend. So I went there, picked up Japanese as much as I could in 3 weeks, and I lived in uh, right outside of Kyoto, and we traveled to Osaka, and we went to all these cool places, saw the Golden Palace. I went kayaking in the mountains of Japan, and I signed up for a boat tour, but the guide was like, "Oh, you're American." And he just gave me the rowers while he essentially gave a tour in Japanese for 3 hours. And there I am in the middle of summer, just rowing a boat, not getting anything besides this from this tour. So for me, I was very lucky that opened up my eyes, right, to new food, to new places, to different ways of life, and that just inspired it. Wanted to study abroad in college, didn't get a scholarship to go and travel. I think that was during the financial crisis as well. So my dad lost his job because he worked in finance. I had to work a little bit more to stay in school, and never got to study abroad like most people. You, the stud that you are, just went and traveled immediately after, got a job in Italy. After college, I moved to San Diego as a skydive instructor, was waiting tables. I met our mutual friend Kevin, and I kept hitting you up because I was seeing every single week Dylan was in a new place. Dylan's in France, Dylan's in Prague, Dylan's in Budapest, Dylan's in Greece, Dylan's in the French Riviera, Dylan's in the Amalfi Coast, Dylan's at Cinque Terre, he's in Venice. And I was like, what are you doing for work? How are you living this life right after college? It looked like a dream. So I just pestered you enough, and I was like, get me that job, get me that job. Like, and I remember you had an employee leave. I think it was Scotty, I think. And I interviewed with the boss, and the boss was like, if you can be in Florence in a week, job's yours. I got a place for you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I quit both my jobs, broke up with the chick that I was seeing, sold all my stuff, sold my car, and I bought a one-way trip to Florence. And I packed all the stuff I had into like 2 or 3 suitcases. And I'm at the airport. I put it on the weight scale, and they're like, you can only take 2. And all 3 are essentially overweight. So I'm in the San Diego airport getting ready to take a one-way trip to Florence. Everyone thinks I'm going to get kidnapped or abducted. I think Taken was a big movie that was out at that point. And I just remember stuffing clothes into like the trash in the San Diego airport, getting on that plane and just being like, I have no idea where I'm going. I land in Charles de Gaulle, fly from Charles de Gaulle to Florence. I get out at Florence and I'm looking for this address. I'm dragging 2 heavy suitcases. It's like January 5th, whatever it was. And I finally get to the apartment. No one's home. And I'm like, great, right? I just showed up. I totally got scammed. I'm going to be homeless in Italy. I have like $300 to my name. And yeah, I remember seeing one of our mutual friends, Kathy, come down the road and she was like, are you Ken? And I was like, oh my God, right? She gave me this amazing tour of Florence. She handed me a Peroni while I was looking at the Duomo for the first time. And I was like, I made the right call. Like it was, everything had aligned at that point. And all the times and memories after that were just such a blur looking back. But you know how it goes.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's crazy kind of looking back and all the little dots that connect to bring you to where you are today. And so from your answer, I want to bring up a couple things to bring it way back. You mentioned your uncle, so it's cool that it was the same for me. My brother traveled abroad and then he basically was like, we're going to Peru together. So if you're listening or watching, and you're someone who's very comfortable going abroad, maybe it's not even a big deal to you, invite someone who's never been there. You'd never know how one, week trip or a month trip can shape someone's entire life and open up their eyes and their surroundings. Um, Two, kind of going after what you want. I reached out and wanted a job in Italy. You reached out and we stayed in touch and we just kind of made it happen. And that's another really cool thing. It's like shaping and building the life that you want to live. You said you always, wanted more. You always were questioning things. And that's how you kind of get what you want is you visualize it, you pursue it, you find who can help you. Oftentimes you ask or you lean on your friends or your network and they can help you too. So yeah, it's interesting again that path that kind of comes together. And then, we were fortunate enough to have an awesome time together in Italy. We got to travel all over, meet really cool people, and then dispersed. But we had, our lifetime friends that we're still in contact with today, and we all went our different paths. Um, but that's interesting. There's a lot of stuff that, I didn't even know about that experience that I just learned from right there. So cool. Well, yeah, it's crazy how that not little month-long Japan trip, rowing on that boat while your guide is speaking Japanese probably shaped, your life more than you realize. I want to hit you with a couple rapid fire questions. All right. So I'm just gonna say a question. First thing that comes to your mind, nothing too controversial. Don't worry. All right. So let me know when you're ready. We'll start it off.
Go for
All right. Ready? Number one, country with the best food,
it. Italy,
country with the most attractive people.
Prague, the Czech Republic.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. Most overrated tourist attraction.
Anything in France.
Weirdest thing you've ever eaten.
Ooh, octopus, live octopus.
Wow. Live.
Yeah.
Friendliest locals.
Ooh.
Canada.
Classic.
Like 5 years ago, not Canada now.
Furthest place you've ever gone off the grid.
Hmm. Definitely definitely for the military, for sure. Um, I would say deep into the mountains of Bergen, Norway, in the fjords.
Hell yeah. Love
Nope.
Bergen.
I was like, I'm getting lost today.
Also up there for country with the most attractive people.
Yeah, yeah. I was younger when I went to Prague, and some of those nightclubs, I was like, "Woo!" Right? Cool.
All right.
Right.
Couple shifting it a little bit, less travel. What's the most impactful book you've ever read?
A book called Advanced Energy Anatomy by Carolyn Myss, Myss. I think everyone should read that book.
What in a sentence or two was so impactful about it?
It's about medical intuition and energy anatomy. So your story, your spiritual guides, how it impacts your physical body in alignment with your chakras, leading to different illnesses and ailments, helping you to understand different stories and why things happen as they do, and shifting your perspective upon the mental, the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual.
You're a fit guy. What is sort of one piece of workout advice you could give to someone just getting into fitness and maintaining their health?
Yeah, it's consistency. You don't need to go to the gym for an hour and a half or 2 hours. But if you work out every single day for 20 years, for 20 or 30 minutes, 5 or 6 times a week, you can't beat consistency, period. You cannot beat that.
What is one piece of advice for new business owners that you have?
Ooh, peaks and valleys. You're gonna have highs, you're gonna have lows, and if you're not willing to go through the dip of being in those lows, you will never be successful. Your short-term pain will allow you long-term success, and if you are looking for short-term gain, i.e., short-term pleasure, you will always fail. It will never be enough. Take the pain now and see success later. Defer immediate gratification.
What is your most impactful travel experience that you've had?
Ooh, I built a classroom when I was in college down in Jamaica in the mountains of like rural Jamaica. Somehow I got lucky enough to be on that trip. And man, we just went and we built 4 walls in a classroom, and all these little Jamaican kids are running around and hanging on you, and they've never seen a white person before. And then they took us fishing. We grilled fresh fish right from the grill, like Negril, Jamaica, on the grill. And they handed me a red stripe, and it was right after we went to this like weed festival. Obviously, we didn't partake, but it was just this amazing experience. And I really felt like I was making a difference. Like I got to teach kids, I got to play with kids, and it was very fulfilling. It's awesome.
What nice, very cool. What martial art that you've practiced would you recommend everybody learns a little bit of?
Yeah, I think jujitsu for younger people. I mess around with Qigong a little bit. Qigong is like energy, just bringing it into your energy and warming up your body and highlighting different energetic points in your body. It's fascinating. If you've never looked into it, it's not really a martial art, but it's essentially like cultivating energy from the air from your body. And the Chinese have been doing stuff for 5,000 years, right? So they have a lot of ancient things that I think would be very applicable to how we live here in the Western world, for sure. Not everything, but a lot of great stuff.
Who do you think would win in a fight? Me, a 5'9" part-time kickboxing instructor at a fitness gym, or you, a 6'4" Green Beret?
Yeah.
I mean, the Green Beret thing is cool. I know Green Berets of all sizes, and it's the size of your heart, man. Right? Like anyone can win in a fight, but it takes a lot for me to even want to fight somebody, right? I think fighting should always be a last resort. And I think primarily for men, if you're listening to this, for men, you should absolutely learn how to become a monster. You should become a savage, but then you have to learn how to control it. I think your 20s are the perfect time to experiment just what you're capable of mentally, physically, even emotionally. And then your 30s are really refining that and then applying that in the directions that are going to move your life. I think fighting should always be a last resort. I do think you should know how to fight, but you would probably win, man, because I have no desire to fight you. So your heart would be bigger than that.
Right.
That is a great answer, and thank you for not just immediately saying you would kill me in 1 second. No, that actually was awesome. I appreciate that. That was super cool, super insightful. I always love chatting with you. I could talk to you all day, man. Seriously. I know you're a busy guy. I'll let you go, but appreciate you joining us today. Hopefully we'll reconnect in the real world soon and we can do some jujitsu or you can teach me some cool things and we can go out and row some boats and in Japan or eat some octopus or see where life takes us.
Of course, man. Yeah, it's always a pleasure, Dill. Thanks for having me on, man.
Hey everyone, Dylan Welch here. Thank you for tuning into the Intelligence Report. Our goal is to bring you interesting people around the world, as well as a neutral geopolitical analysis on what's happening. Please subscribe to the podcast. Visit us for more long-form articles at www.intelligencereport.org and follow us along on social media for short-form daily content. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.